Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Delta Airlines 767-300ER by Gemini jets in a 1 to 200 scale. Please check the description in case you missed anything throughout this video. All of my social media links will be down there. I pre-ordered this from collectible-aircraft-wings-australia.com.au. Their link will also be down in the description. This is my 7th 767 model and it's my 8th Delta Airlines model. Some information about Delta Airlines. Their operations base is out of Atlanta, Georgia in the USA. Their main hubs are Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, Boston, Logan, Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, St. Paul, New York JFK, New York LaGuardia, Salt Lake City, and Seattle Tacoma. Their focus city is Raleigh-Durham. They were founded on the 2nd of March 1925 as Huff the Land Dusters in Macon, Georgia. They commenced operations on the 17th of June 1929 as Delta Air Services. Their fleet as of the 18th of March 2022 consists of 1,250 aircraft, including 860 in their mainline fleet. 62 of these are 767s, 41 of which are 767-300s, and 21 are 767-400s. They serve 325 destinations worldwide, and their current 767-300 routes are from Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson to Bogota, El Dorado, Denver, Las Vegas, Harry Reid, Munich, New York, JFK, Orlando, Phoenix, Sky Harbor, and San Francisco. They also serve New York, JFK to Accra, Kotoka, Barcelona, El Prat, Dakar, Blaise, Diagne, Frankfurt, Lisbon, Humberto Delgado, Las Vegas, Harry Reid, Los Angeles, Madrid, Barajas, Phoenix, Sky Harbor, San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle Tacoma. They also serve Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County to Las Vegas, Harry Reid, and lastly Los Angeles to Honolulu, Daniel K. Inouye. This aircraft's first flight was on 28th of October 1998 and delivered to Delta on the 5th of November 1998. The Boeing customer code for Delta is 32. So let's take a look in the box here. Alright, at the top we have Gemini logo, Delta Skyteam logo, a picture of the model, aircraft type, 1 to 200 scale model, and the item number for the specific model. On the back of the box we have the typical Gemini jets description. That's where you can find their Facebook page and also the licenses. And at the bottom you can see a sticker that has been put on by the seller, Collectible Aircraft Wings Australia, and there's their website. That's the short form of their website, though you can type in that.com.au. Now let's take a look at the top of the box. The right hand side is the bottom and the left. Now inside the box, this aircraft does not come with gears. The gears are permanently fixed in place. So as you can see, we have the model and the stand. Alright guys, the model is now out of the box and we are going to start at the cockpit windows on the port side. Alright, so cockpit windows, window wipers, pitot tube static ports, the Skyteam logo because Delta is a member of Skyteam, which is a group of 19 airlines. You can also see on the front gear door the numbers 1704, that is the fleet number, and also it's got an ETOPS rating. And as we come along you can see other emblems and logos by the front cabin door. Delta titles and logo. Also got a view of the inboard landing light. And we come to the engine. This is the General Electric CF6-80 C2B6F power plant. Not as detailed as many of the other engines from different aircraft types that have been released in model version. However, by taking a look inside, it seems pretty basic, to be quite honest. The fan blades aren't tilted and they don't seem to spin. I'll check the other one in a second. Yeah, these aren't sort of the most detailed. They are okay, to be quite honest. And the smaller aircraft you get, typically you find less detail. Although this is a wide body. There's the engine stroke on the inboard side of the nacelle. Take a look at the nose gear lights. I will just make note right now before I forget. This gear, the center rod that joins the gear, and you can slightly see. You can actually see how it slides up and down like that with the strut. That was bent quite far to the left, and usually I would recommend sending that back to wherever you purchased it to get a replacement, because if you don't want it breaking off, you especially don't want it to be your fault. So I did not take it back. I've had one, possibly two models where it has broken off, no fault of my own. It's just put it down and the thing snapped off. So I was very careful in using a pair of tweezers just to slowly bring it back into place. But I've just got to be extra careful that I don't, create fatigue in that nose gear strut. Anyway, let's check the fan blades on this side. They don't spin. I'm not going to force it and try and scratch the inside of the engine, but I'm quite certain they don't spin at all. There's no slight movement. There's the engine strake and the inboard landing light on that side. So yeah, just a couple of things to note that aren't sort of, that are kind of bringing this model down a peg or two. Now we come to the winglet. I love the 767 winglets. I believe they're the biggest on a commercial airliner, if I'm not mistaken. They are absolutely massive, and they look so nice on the 300s. There's also the red navigation light, as you can see at the wingtip. And back onto the fuselage, we see the US flag, because Delta is a flag carrier for the United States, and also the registration number N174DZ or November 174 Delta Zulu. Also got the rear bulk bin door. Usually that's on the other side. Well, it's typical for most airliners that it's on the other side. Also the Delta logo on the tail and the fleet number at the top of the tail. Now the APU exhaust looks fairly well detailed. A little bit rough, but the shape is pretty correct. And now we're going to move on to the cockpit windows on the starboard side. Right, so we also have the pitot tubes and static ports there, Skyteam logo, the fleet number on the gear door, and it shows that it's rated for ETOPS. Delta titles and logo, front cargo container door. The CF6 engine. And the winglet on this side. You can also see the green navigation light. I had to brighten that up for you just so you could make that out if you couldn't. And back onto the fuselage, we have the US flag again, the registration number, the rear cargo container door. And then we move along to the tail again, and we have the Delta logo and the fleet number. Right, so now we're going to take a look underneath the model now. Right, so we have the nose gear and gear doors. It's under the nose 767-300. Markings for antennas and various other things. The NACA ducts, anti-collision beacon, Delta titles and logo. Also got the hole for the stand, main gears, gear doors. Underneath the wings, flaps, slats, ailerons, and there's the fuel dump valve right next to the aileron. Underneath the engine. As you can see, there isn't really too much going on with the engines, unlike other models like I'd mentioned. Same on this side. The Gemini Jets logo underneath, which is standard with their models. An antenna that may be some sort of, I believe that's some sort of valve. Cabin pressure relief valve. That's the, right here is a little bump. It's actually raised. That's the, there's a tail strike, so that's a tail skid. There's the APU housing and the horizontal stabilizers. And now taking a look on top of the model now. Anti-collision beacon. Got an antenna there. The Wi-Fi box. Satcom. Overwing emergency exits, flaps, slats, ailerons, and spoilers. Sorry, let's get rid of this. This is just a bunch of material and other stuff from inside the box. Typically just, foam residue. Wings are looking very, very nice. More antennas. And we come to the horizontal stabilizers. As you can see on the leading edge of each horizontal stabilizer, so we have two grey dots. They are the logo lights that light up the tail at night time. Okay, so let's go through the seating arrangement for this aircraft. Alright, so there are 3 configurations. So the first version, we have Delta 126 flatbed seats rows 1 to 7, and that is approximately from the first door to, I think, this break in the windows, and then from this point to roughly between the, so just forward of these doors, so about here somewhere. That is Delta Comfort Plus, 35 seats rows 13 to 17, and then from that point onwards the remainder of the aircraft is Economy, 165 seats rows 18 to 42 for a total of 226 seats. The second version, which is this particular registered aircraft, we have Delta 126 flatbed seats rows 1 to 7. Again, that's the same from the same parts of the aircraft. I'm not going to go through that again. Delta Premium Select, 18 seats rows 20 to 22. So that goes from here to, I believe it's here, and then from here to that second emergency exit. That is Delta Comfort Plus, 21 seats rows 30 to 32, and then the remainder of the aircraft is Economy, 151 seats rows 33 to 55 for a total of 216 seats. Then we have the last version, Delta 136 flatbed seats rows 1 to 9. So again, front of the aircraft, this time it goes to this point right here. Then we have Delta Comfort Plus, 32 seats rows 16 to 21. That will be from here to just behind the third cabin door. And then from here to the back of the aircraft is Economy. That is going to be 143 seats, rows 22 to 42 for a total of 208 seats. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the features of the gears now. They roll. I'm not going to do this as I normally do. I will be careful with that front gear. As you can see, it's sort of turning in the direction it was bent in. One of the wheels on the main gear doesn't quite roll as well as the others, but this can vary from, just by having one single bad model out of a batch. That's not indicative of this model. Every single model produced of this particular from this particular batch, they do tilt, and I will be careful with this front gear. It does turn, as you can see, so you can have it in any direction, but I'm not going to overstress that. I can already feel it's turning and making a right turn with the wheel turning right. It does slightly lock up, so I'm not going to bother that too much. Okay, and taking a look at the stand we get, so it's a metal base with that's painted to have like a wood look finish. There's a screw underneath that attaches to this portion that holds up the model, and as you can see, there is padding on top of the stand that stops the model from getting scratched underneath it. And I'll put this model on the stand now. There we go, it sits quite nicely on the stand. The gears are not magnetically removable, they are permanent in place, which is a bit of a shame really. Put those in their resting position. One tilts more than the other. So yeah, it would be nice to have removable gears with this model. One thing I'd like to request from Gemini Jets, because they do make JC Wings' models as well, so it would it would cross over, it'd be the same sort of thing. And in saying that, it would be nice to have removable gears for this model. What I would highly suggest is if maybe they could sell the gears separately for all different types of models. That way, if there is a gear issue or you lose a gear part in the future for whatever reason, you know, you're not taking one from another model, or you know, you're not stuck in using the other configuration, let's say. It would just be a really nice thing if they could sell it separately. That way you have that option if that should arise. But anyway, this is going to be the end of the review. I do hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Comment, tell me what you think of this model. Tell me if you're going to get it. There are, like I've been through, quite a couple of flaws. But also I've mentioned that could just be possibly because I received the bad model out of the batch, or something along those lines. But it's still quite a nice model. I'm glad to have in my collection. I've seen quite a few of these, so it was a must get for me. Subscribe for more, and don't forget to share to let other people know about this model and see if they want to get this as well, or anything from my collection. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.